Hello everyone, and welcome to RadioCSIRT English Edition, your daily appointment with cybersecurity news. I'm Marc Frederic Gomez, your French cybersecurity voice for today's threat landscape. It's Sunday, November 23rd, 2025. You're listening to episode 27, live from Valenciennes City in France. For this special edition, imagine the following scene. A company suddenly faces higher operating costs because of a new tax applied to digital services. To stay within its budget, it must make choices. And very often, cybersecurity becomes the first area to suffer. At first glance, taxation and cyber threats seem unrelated. Two separate worlds. But recent years have shown that increasing digital taxes can produce real collateral effects on security. This matters for all cybersecurity professionals because it creates a chain reaction. When mandatory expenses go up, the digital defense posture can weaken, and when defenses weaken, cybercriminals find new openings. In this episode, we explore how higher digital taxes reshape the cyber threat landscape. We look at how companies adjust their budgets, especially their security spending. We examine how reduced security investments expand the attack surface. We analyze how cybercriminal groups exploit these weaknesses. And finally, we take a step back and look at three countries, the United Kingdom, Brazil, and India, to understand the real-world consequences. Let's begin. When a digital tax comes into effect, companies feel the impact almost immediately. More taxes means more budget constraints, and every additional expense must be compensated somewhere. For many organizations, IT hardware, and especially cybersecurity, is still seen as a cost center, not as a strategic investment, so cuts often start there. In 2025, security budgets grew by only 4%. The year before, they grew by 8%. Growth was cut in half, and the share of IT spending dedicated to security dropped from nearly 12% to just under 11%. This was the first decline after 5 years of steady increases. Economic uncertainty, volatile markets, and unpredictable pricing policies also push companies to freeze or reduce investments. CFOs often prioritize economic stability above everything else, even above cybersecurity. Under financial pressure, protecting data may seem less urgent than preserving margins, until the day something breaks. The domino effect on SMEs. Take the United Kingdom. In 2020, the country introduced a 2% digital services tax on revenues generated by major online platforms. The intention was to target global tech giants, but the cost was passed directly to smaller businesses. Amazon increased fees for third-party sellers by exactly 2%. Google applied a 2% surcharge on ads served in the UK. Suddenly, small companies had higher digital operating costs. And when visibility online becomes more expensive, companies look for savings elsewhere. Firewall upgrades get postponed. SOC hiring gets delayed. Threat intelligence subscriptions are cancelled. The same happened in India after the 2% levy on foreign digital services. Vendors passed the tax to customers. Small businesses paid more for cloud and SaaS services, leaving less money for security. Governments eventually recognized these cascading effects. India even abolished its 6% levy on digital advertising in 2025 to ease the pressure on its digital economy. But once again, the damage is already visible. Cybersecurity becomes the adjustment variable. Less security, more vulnerabilities. Cutting cybersecurity budgets is like lowering your guard in a boxing ring. It invites the next punch. What actually happens inside a company when security budgets shrink? First, patches get delayed, sometimes ignored entirely. A critical update is postponed to next weekend. A known VPN vulnerability isn't fixed because the service cannot be interrupted. 60% of breaches come from known vulnerabilities that already had available patches. Second, tools get disabled or reduced. A CM considered too expensive collects fewer logs. An endpoint detection module is deployed only on critical servers. Threat intelligence platforms are left without renewal. This creates blind spots, dark zones where attackers can move unnoticed. Third, SOC teams weaken, hiring freezes, staff burnout, reduced hours. Some SOCs even move from 24/7 monitoring to limited coverage. This gives attackers time windows to operate freely. Fourth, outdated legacy systems remain in production. Old versions of Windows, aging firewalls, unsupported applications. These become perfect entry points. Finally, the human perimeter weakens. Training budgets are cut. Employees fall more easily for phishing. The error rate increases. All these vulnerabilities combine into one outcome, a dramatically enlarged attack surface. Cybercriminals exploiting the weakness. Cybercriminals monitor these trends very closely. When defenses weaken, they accelerate their operations. Ransomware attacks increased by more than 15% in 2024. Many reports describe 2024 as a record year for ransomware volume. 72% of major attacks had a financial motive linked to ransomware, and 83% of victims paid the ransom. Organizations with weak backups or limited monitoring are far more likely to pay. Attackers know this. They scan constantly for unpatched Exchange servers, vulnerable VPNs, or outdated systems exposed on the internet. In the UK, the NCSC handled more than 400 major cyber incidents within a single year. Highly significant incidents increased by 50%. Companies like Marks & Spencer and Jaguar Land Rover were hit hard. JLR lost around £50 million per week during its 6-week shutdown. Attackers also target outdated systems, legacy technologies, predictable, well understood, and easy to exploit. In France, more than half of national incident response operations in 2023 were linked to outdated VPNs or firewalls. Phishing becomes more effective as training budgets decrease. In the UK, 85% of breaches involve phishing. AI-powered impersonation, including voice deepfakes, is becoming mainstream. Supply chain attacks increase as well. When one supplier reduces its security posture, the entire ecosystem becomes vulnerable. One company's savings become another company's risk. Country focus: UK, Brazil, India. Real-world examples show how digital taxation and cybersecurity interact. In the United Kingdom, the digital services tax placed pressure on SMEs, while major cyber incidents increased dramatically. The government had to remind major boards to prioritize cyber resilience. In Brazil, even without a final digital tax, the threat level is extremely high. The country is among the most targeted regions in the world for ransomware. Some groups rank Brazil as their second preferred target after the United States. Brazilian organizations often use legacy systems, and local cybercriminal activity is strong. Any additional financial pressure could significantly worsen the situation. In India, digital taxes increased software costs for years. Google applied a 2% surcharge on all ads. Cloud services became more expensive. Security investments were often postponed. Meanwhile, cyber incidents exploded. Nearly 2 million incidents were recorded in 2024 alone, a 33% increase. India eventually reversed its digital taxes in 2025 to reduce this pressure. About final conclusion. Increasing digital taxes can unintentionally weaken cybersecurity, not because taxation creates cybercriminals, but because it consumes resources that organizations need to defend themselves. When budgets shrink, the attack surface expands, attackers notice, and they strike. The lesson for organizations is simple. Security must never be the adjustment variable. Every dollar saved today may cost hundreds of thousands tomorrow. The lesson for governments: digital taxation and cybersecurity strategy must be designed together, never separately. Cyber resilience is a shared responsibility, from employees to CEOs to policymakers. Only by aligning economic policy with cybersecurity priorities can we ensure that digital taxation strengthens, rather than weakens, our digital ecosystem. And that's the end of this Sunday special episode. I hope it provided clear and useful information. And if you are a new listener, feel free to subscribe to the podcast. We are available on Apple Podcast, Amazon Music, YouTube channel, Deezer, and Spotify. You can share your feedback by email at RadioCSIRT@gmail.com. All open source intelligence sources used for this episode are available on RadioCSIRT.com, as well as in the episode description. See you tomorrow for a new episode. Until then, don't think, just patch. Bye.